Okay, so first, thank you. Thank you for joining this morning, giving us an opportunity to learn together. I do invite you and hope that this will be interactive. By no means do I want to be talking straight for the next 40 minutes, but really I invite you and hope that we'll be able to have conversations. So let's see, we have another person, Chaim. Chaim, can you hear us? Let's see. Nope, Chaim left. Okay, maybe he will come back. And of course, thank you to the yeshiva for providing this opportunity for us and for the community as well, and to Rabbi Gold for all of his arrangements, and to Yoav as well. So I'll also, just before we start, dedicate our learning to Refuah Shlema, to anyone who is ill because of the virus, or anyone who's ill, Begadol, that Baruch Hu should give a Refuah Shlema to everybody, or Refuah Nefesh, Refuah Guf, in the zechut of our learning together. So I remember growing up, the whole idea of egg matzah was a big deal, and a lot of conversations about it. And then over the last, 10, 15 years, egg matzah sort of died down all of the conversations. And maybe that's because, the food industry has now created basically any kosher Pessach food you might want, right? Almost as good as chametz food, that egg matzah wasn't a big deal anymore, right? Because now I can get hamburger buns and hamburger rolls, all kosher Pesach, and potato flour and this kind of flour. But nevertheless, this Indian of Pesach, of egg matzah, and the different customs of whether it's permitted or not permitted on Pesach is important, fascinating discussion, and also has to do with, now we have mixing of Ashkenazi and Sephardi communities, meaning 1,000 years ago, it's much easier if you have a custom for Ashkenaz and a custom for Sephardi, because by and large, you were either Ashkenazi Jews in this city or Sephardi Jews in that city. And here and there might be mixing, but in general, the populations were very separate. But of course, now in Israel and really around the world, Ashkenazim and Sephardim are living together. And, towards the end of this year, we'll talk about, what are those implications? If you have different customs for Ashkenaz and Sephardim, how do they interact with each other? So just to get started, who could give me, on a very, very basic level, what is the definition of matzah?
Flour and water.
Flour and water, right? And the time frame?
18 minutes.
Right, less than 18 minutes. Flour and water, less than 18 minutes. And of course, when you say flour, right, there are 5 types of flour, of grains that can be part of chametz, or part of matzah. Let's stay there for a moment. So now, what happens if you take out the ingredient of water and put another liquid in there? We're going to take flour and we are going to now bake it with apple juice, orange juice, eggs, like is it matzah? Does that still constitute the definition of matzah or not? And that's the basis of the discussion of egg matzah. So we'll start with the Gemara. Okay, so there are 2 sources that deal with this in the Gemara and leave us a little bit perplexed. So the first one, again, we're Psachim Lamed Ham and Aleph, Amar Rabba Bar Chana, Amar Reish Lakish. So we quote the following in the name of Reish Lakish. Isa shenilusha biyayin v'shemen udvash. So again, you have your isa, your dough, that you've now put together and with wine or oil or honey. So is that chametz or not? So comes along Reish Lakish and says, no. Ein chayavin al chimutza karet. When that dough now becomes chametz, you don't get karet, which on a very, very simple level seems to imply that this is not considered to be chametz. So now the Gemara continues with the little story. Yati Rav Papa Rav Huna Breid Rav Yoshua Kamed Rav Idi. So you had 2 figures, Rav Papa and Rav Huna, the son of Rav Yoshua. So they were sitting in front of Rav Idi Bar Avin. The Yati Rav Idi Bar Avin, the common name. So Rav Idi Bar Avin, I guess, was busy learning, stayed up all night to the night before studying, and fell asleep. as these two other rabbis, Rav Papa and Rav Huna, were sitting in front of him. So in the meantime, while Rav Evi is sleeping, so Amalei Rav Huna Breda Rav Yoshua the Rav Papa. So one, Rav Huna asked to the other one, Rav Papa, my time at the Reish Lakish. Why indeed did Reish Lakish say a moment ago that if you take your dough and it's mixed, not with water, but with yayin or shemen or dvash, that's not considered to be chametz, right? You don't get curried for that punishment. So we asked that question. Then the Gemara is a back and forth of a few different possibilities. Rejects it, rejects that possibility. Now, and all of a sudden he wakes up, right? Just as they they need a final answer to figure out what happened, what's the reason behind Reish Lakish. So he wakes up. So Amalahu, he said to them, Dear Diki, Hainu time at Reish Lakish, my children, here's the answer, the reason behind Reish Lakish. And this is the key line. Mishum dahavu lehu me pirot. So those things, wine and oil and dvash, are considered to be me pirot. Let's just call that fruit juices. Yeah, obviously not only fruit of a tree, but juices that are not water. Ume pirot ein machmitzin. And we have a general rule coming out of the Gemara and Psachim, the first source, that if you take water out of the equation and you put in it me pirot, it doesn't become chametz. And therefore, have as much as you want what we call egg matzah, right? Because it's not going to be chametz, right? It's me pirot. And me pirot, we have a rule that does not become chametz. And if this was the only statement of the Gemara, we'd be fine. And that would be the basis for our egg matzah. The problem is, about a daf later, there's a second one. Wait, there's some comments over here. Someone's connection is very not doing so well. Okay, no problem. Can anybody not hear me who wants to hear me? Who's YB? YB?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Hi, Yair.
Hi.
Great. Hopefully we can see you too. It's so much nicer when you get to see people. Okay. So again, the question on the table is, how do we define halachically egg matzah when you don't use water together with your flour, but you use some type of eggs or another type of juice in the meantime? And so far we see from the Gemara, the first source that we had, that indeed, in machmitzin. Nei pirot, there's a rule, it does not become chametz. Now take a look at the following second Gemara, Vav and Aleph. So again, there's a discussion back and forth. And in the discussion back and forth, the Gemara quotes the following Braita, Vehatanya. Ein lashin isa b'Pesach, the yayin of Shemen udvash. So here we say, no, you can't make a dough on Pesach, take your flour and put it together with wine, oil, and dvash, what we're calling mepirot, v'im lash, and if you did it, Rabban Gamliel omer tisaref. Okay, right away you got to burn it, right? What does that imply? Rabban Gamliel saying right away you have to burn it. Why would he say such a thing? What do you think?
Chametz.
Exactly, chametz. The Chachamim omrim yochal. Chachamim say you can eat it. Now I want to be careful before we get too far with that opinion of the Chachamim. What does it mean that Chachamim say you can eat it? Does that mean that it's not chametz? No. So take a look at Rashi. Ein lashin et ha'isha shal matzot. Again, you got your matzah. In shemen, yayin, and dvash. V'pnei shekrova umemaheret lahachmitz. Right? Because it's quickly going to become chametz. V'ein adam yechol l'shomra, and you can't guard it, not become chametz. Lefikach imash tisaref miyad. Right away you have to burn it. And the Chachamim say yochal not because it doesn't become chametz, rather because if you can eat it fast enough before it rises and becomes chametz, then you're okay. Meaning, according to both opinions, according to this Braita, what the Rishonim understood was a contradiction. Because the moment we said, listen, emachmitzim, perot can't become chametz. But according to the second Braita that's quoted in the Gemara, actually, it can become chametz. In fact, it becomes chametz, quicker. And that's why it's extra problematic. So how do we resolve this contradiction? On the one hand, we seemingly have two statements. The first one implying that no chametz, don't worry. As long as you don't have water in the equation, if you take out water, you put something else, fruit juice, eggs, whatever it is, no chametz. On the other hand, we have this beit that says, in fact, right, you can't put together flour and meipirot because it does become chametz quickly.
Is it possible one's talking on a doraita and one's talking to Rabbanan?
Yes, so that's very possible. So we're going to see two approaches to this question, which will directly impact how we view egg matzah. And what you're suggesting now is Rashi. But I'll challenge you for a moment, right? So the first one that said you can, right? It does not become chametz. Yes,
The doraita.
Exactly. How can you prove that from the language of the? Let me put it back up. How can you prove that from the language?
Because karet is the isra from the Torah. It's not something Rabbanan can enforce. So they're saying you're not chayiv karet, but that's not talking about. You might be chayiv malkut or malkut modut, something else. We don't know. Like it's just speaking specifically about the doraita, but we don't know necessarily about any Rabbanan prohibition that they want to put on it.
Exactly. So Gideon, what you're suggesting, beautiful. We'll see that in Rashi in just a moment. But yeah, it starts in chayavin achamitza karet, which means that fine, you don't get karet, but doesn't say asur, right? So it should be okay. The only challenge to that opinion, but again, it is the opinion of Rashi, which we'll see in a moment, is the rule at the end that Rav Idi gives that says the reason behind Reish Lakish is that meipirot in machnitzin. You'd have to suggest that means in machnitzin only midoraita, but midrabanan would be machnitzin. But that's okay. Let's see how Rashi would possibly read into that. So according to
that's what I was saying from the beginning. Meaning Rashi is saying they're only talking about doraita, but the Rabbanan it's not sure whether they would be asur or not asur. But they're saying definitely doraita it's not asur. But later on, when in the second beit when it's talking about it, that's talking about the Rabbanan level. So I'm not sure I can challenge.
Well, that Rabbi Idi says meipirot in machnitzin, according to the first Gemara.
The first Gemara in machnitzin doraita.
Doraita, okay.
But machnitzin isn't really a doraita. It's more of an objective state, I guess. Okay, got it.
Okay, but nevertheless, let's take a moment back. So we have two Gemaras contradict each other, and we want to resolve that contradiction. We're going to have two ways of resolving it, which will both affect exactly what the halacha is. Okay, and the first way, as you said beautifully, is Rashi. So take a look. So Rashi says the following. No, one more. Okay. Just have to move this chat. There we go. So Rashi does something a little bit Tosfot-like, because Rashi usually makes comments on the Gemara he's commenting on, while Tosfot will usually say, "Oh, this is what this Gemara means," but now you have a contradiction from another Gemara. And here Rashi pulls a little bit of a Tosfot move, because he's commenting on the Gemara, and he says, "Meipirot imachnitzin." This is the rule. Bo kasha hach di'iu in chayavin achimutze karet ka'amar. It's not a contradiction, right, with the other Gemara, the first one that we saw, which says that you're not chayiv making it a chametz with meipirot. That's talking about karet. The lo have chametz gamor, and therefore it's not considered to be real deoraita Torah chametz. Ala chametz nuksha havi. Chametz nuksha, which is like the different things that qualify for chametz nuksha, but the common denominator is it's midrabanan. It's a kolomar ra, meaning it's a ve'otel chimutz hemimari machamitz v'ef shalish shomran. So according to Rashi, you're suggesting that yes, indeed, when the first Gemara said that you made perot imach mitzi, that's on the doraita level. Midoraita, it's all okay. Midrabanan, you saw the problem. It's considered to be part of this isur of chametz nuksha, chametz midrabanan, right? And he adds in another component. Voto chimutz hemimari nachmitz. It goes very, very quickly. It becomes chametz. V'iyafshar l'shomra. And therefore, you can't say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to let it rise. I'm going to do it very quickly and eat it right away. That doesn't work, because when you put meipirot together with flour, it's so fast that indeed, you know what? You're going to have chametz. But that chametz, according to Rashi, is only on a drabanan level. So if we stop for a moment, if you offered Rashi a piece of egg matzah on Pessach, what would he say to you?
Can't eat it.
Yeah, You say, no, thank you. And you would show him, look, well, wait a second. The Gemara says that mei peot ein machlitzin. No problem. It's not with water. It's only with eggs or orange juice, apple juice, whatever you want. So Rashi, eat your matzah. He said, no, you misunderstood the Gemara. As Gidon said, no, when the Gemara said, ein machlitzin, that's midoraita. You don't get karet. But midrabanan, it's still considered to be chametz drabanan, chametz nuksha. Therefore, according to Rashi, it is prohibited. Midrabanan. Okay, any questions on how Rashi understands those two Gemaras and what his conclusion, at least, would be in the meantime for egg matzah? Hold on, Gideon, you're on mute. I don't know if you're talking to us. Let's unmute.
Yeah. Why does Rashi add on the end part? Meaning, if it's usher the Rabbanan, who cares how hard it is to watch or not how hard it is to watch? It's something like a little extra there.
So you're right. Rashi is a little bit complex because why is he adding that on? And it could be two different things. Is he saying, listen, midrabanan, it's chametz nuksha, because if you don't watch it carefully, it will really become chametz deoraita, right? And therefore, even though you caught it early, right, and you didn't let it rise, nevertheless, it's still considered to be chametz midrabanan, but it has the potential, if you're not afraid. That would be one way of looking at Rashi. Or he's just saying, no, the reason why it's asar midrabanan is because the nature of flour together with, this juice is it has a potential simply to rise, and therefore it's chametz nuksha. The simple way of understanding I would suggest is that's the reason why it's chametz midrabanan. Even though you've been very careful and you're not going to let it rise, it has the potential to go very quickly. And because there's potential to go very quickly, right from the get-go, it's considered to be chametz midrabanan.
Quick, but according to everyone, there's no opinion that no matter how chametz it gets, it can't get to the right.
Let's see. Right now we're in Rashi. Okay, so that would be Rashi, his understanding of the egg matzah. And now, of course, there's always another opinion. So now let's get to Tosfot. So Tosfot understood the Gemaras, of course, they're not contradictory, but actually, according to both Gemaras, there's still a problem. Now, but according to both problems, there's still no problem. Why? So, Tosfot will tell you, listen, the moment you put flour together with another liquid that's not water, you substitute water for flour, honey, oil, whatever it is, no problem. Never considered to be chametz. What about the Gemara that says, the first one, why? When the first Gemara was suggesting when the Beit, was suggesting that you have to right away burn it or right away eat it according to the Chachamim, but on a simple level, right away burn it, there was three ingredients. There was wheat or flour and your mei perot and water. If you have all three of a combination, then it becomes super fast, chametz producer. But if you don't have water in it, but you just have, again, that mixture of wheat, flour with oil, honey, eggs, whatever it is, it's 100% okay. Therefore, according to Tosfot, opposite of Rashi. Rashi thought, you know what? Between the two Gemaras, you have one on Doraita, one on Durabanan. Doraita, you're right, it can't become chametz. Midrabanan, it can be. And Tosfot saying, no, actually, both of them on a simple level is 100% okay. When the Breita said, if you put it together, it's not okay, what did that Breita mean? When you also have water in addition to the juice and the flour. And therefore, if Tosfot was a guest at your house and you offered him some yummy egg matzah, what would he say?
Sure.
Avon, is it great? Bring it out. And if you were to show him the Gemara that said, no, wait a second, what do you mean? It can be coming so fast and it's a problem. He said, no. That's only if you also had water in addition to mei perot and flour. Okay, so how the Rishonim actually jive those two Gemaras together impacts exactly whether egg matzah is permitted or not. Okay. Questions, comments until this point, and then we will go and see how we get to with the halacha. Okay, so first we have the Rambam. So the Rambam says that you have these chamesh midei dagan, right? If you put them together with just meirot bilvad, below shumayim the olam, and no water touched it at all, einan ba'im lidei chilutz. Whose opinion is the Rambam following?
Rashi.
Rashi. No. Sorry, no, not Rashi. Tosfot.
Oh, Tosfot. They told me that is water.
Right. According to Rambam, just like Tosfot, you don't have any water, you're 100% okay, according to both Gemaras. Only a problem if you also had water. Right? You left them together, the apple juice and the flour, right? Until, made some kind of batzek, until it might come in a dough. You could eat it, no problem. Why? Right? It actually doesn't ferment, it actually ruins if they made peirot. And he gives all the examples. Made peirot is wine, and honey, and milk, and zayit. Made tapuchim, apple juice, maybe monim, pomegranate, and all those different kinds of things. But again, his bottom line, as long as there's absolutely no water at all, which is actually interesting, because what comes out of that is that actually egg matzah might need a little bit more shmirah than regular shmura matzah. Right? So regular shmura matzah, right? You have to be careful that there's no, you're watching it every moment from when it grows as the kernel grows until it's finalized in the machines. Why? Because again, you don't want water to be mixing with it for more than 18 minutes. But here, it's even faster. So egg matzah would actually maybe require, shmura to be guarded even more so, because again, it goes very, very fast, the fermenting process with a fruit juice instead of with water as well. But without the water, the Rambam will be just like the opinion of Tosfot, egg matzah, beautiful, let's have it, let's do it, not a problem. Now, hasagot harayvin, so now the Ravid comes along and says, no, in davar ze pashut, right? Don't go so fast, Mr. Rambam, right? Wait a moment, the lo hakol modin bo. Not everyone agrees with you, the Rambam and Tosfot, because after all, we have Rashi. And Rashi said, midoraita, you're fine, but it's still chametz nuksha, it's still midrabanan. But according to the other side, there's still chametz nuksha and it's still aser. So there are those, like the Ravid, who suggests there's still another opinion that we have to be worried about. You still have Rashi as well. And the Magid Mishnah on the bottom actually quotes that the overwhelming majority of the Rishonim were on the side of the Rambam and Tosfot. Now it's like Gaonim were also there as well, and they brought proofs from here and from there. And therefore, if you're counting up all the different opinions, majority opinions go on the side of Tosfot and Rambam. And indeed, without water being in the equation, your flour and mei peirot are 100% good, and enjoy your Pesach with as much matzah, egg matzah that you want. Yofi. So let's move down. Thoughts, comments, questions? Anyone want to add anything until now?
Just to clarify, there's no shita that holds that it can never become a chametz leolam. If it's just, let's say, fruit juice, like apple juice and flour, like you could do it. There's no shita that says you can do whatever you want with it, right?
Without water?
Without water.
Yeah, that's the Rambam. Rambam said you leave it together all day, it'll never become chametz.
Okay. And you can't, because the thing is, apple juice, I mean, maybe it's different than we know it today because now it has mostly water, so I assume that would constitute as regular water, right? It's also wine as well. It's a lot of water in it. But, like, you could probably make something very chametz looking with some juice.
You could, potentially.
I guess the Rambam would be okay with it.
Mei peirot imach mitzim, the Rambam and Tosfot both say, as long as there's no water.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now the Shulchan Aruch takes the side of a mei pero below mine, a machmitzin klal, right? Just fruit juice without water doesn't become umoter lechol b'Pesach matzah shnusha b'nei pero. Here, the Shulchan Aruch had your idea. He said, great, I'm going to take my flour, I'm going to take my eggs, my honey, whatever it is, afilu shata kol hayom, I'll leave it together all day, no problem. It does not become chametz. Now, the Shulchan Aruch adds a separate issue, right? Usually we say, listen, whatever can become chametz is the same ingredients as process, which can become matzah, right? The opposite sides of the same equation. Chametz and matzah are the opposite. Here's an exception to the rule, right? Aval ein yotzei ba'idei chovato. Even though it can never become chametz, nevertheless, you cannot use egg matzah on the first night of Pesach, where there's a mitzvah d'oraita, positive commandment to eat matzah, because we have another problem. It's considered to be matzah ashira, right? It's not plain, it's flavorful, it's rich, it's it's yummy. V'kla kativ lechem oni. In other words, if you want to fulfill your mitzvah of matzah the first night of Pesach, Bezrat Hashem, next Wednesday night we'll be sitting at our seders, and we'll want to fulfill the mitzvah by Erev Tochlu Matzot. So here you need to have flour and water. Why? Not because flour and mei pirot is chametz. It's totally okay according to Shulchan Aruch, but you have another requirement. Matzah for the mitzvah has to be lechem oni. And now you've added in, your honey, your apple juice, your eggs. It's matzah ashira, therefore you cannot fulfill your mitzvah. And he adds in, mei pirot imayim maharim lachmitz yoter mishar isa. Right? Fruit juice with water. Again, with water, more quickly ferments than any other type of isa, any other type of dough. And therefore, hilkach ein lalush bahem. You cannot make egg matzah with fruit juice, water, and flour. That's a problem. In other words, you have to do right away so it doesn't become chametz. There's absolutely no weeding. But lechatchila, you cannot put those three ingredients together.
Chemically speaking, in this case, it seems like he's actually talking about a chemical process, because when you put in fruit juice, you're adding sugar, which shows the process.
Well, if it was just fruit juice and
but
water.
So there are two things here. One is that it seems like basically they're talking about it in a tech. It's all a technical matter, right? That if there is only fruit juice, then it cannot ferment, and if there is fruit juice and water, rise. And if there is water and fruit juice, it rises even faster than just water. So the first statement about only fruit juice is a little hard to understand. I wonder, is that a matter of a misconception that there isn't water in fruit juice, or is it something else? And then, but on the flip side, if it is really just a matter of just the chemical properties, it is true that adding fruit juice adds sugar, which makes it run faster.
It's probably not that let's say the Rambam didn't know that there was water in fruit juice, because when he talks about health, he says you should get most of your liquids from fruit specifically. So he knew that there was. I mean, I assume the Gemara did too, but it wasn't like such a not known thing. But the Rambam, you could see, knew that there was water in fruit juice,
which is fascinating because water in fruit juice, that's okay. Fruit juice plus water, it's the opposite. It's, my hair, fast, it becomes chametz. So yeah. Good, thank you. Thank you, Nathaniel. Tada. Yofi. So now we have the Shulchan Aruch, who paskin like Rashi and, paskin like Tosfot and the Rambam and the majority of Rishonim, and said, egg matzah, beautiful, you have it, you enjoy it. Now comes the Ramah. The Ramah adds, "Uve medinot elu eino hagin lalush mei pirot." We don't. Our custom amongst Ashkenazi communities is that we don't. Right? Eino hagin rak lachar fiatam ba'odon chamin. Right after you bake the matzah. This will actually get into tomorrow's share back in brachs, right? After you make the matzah, then okay, you add in your oil, whatever you want, right? But you don't make flour with juice. Ve'im l'shanot, and don't change the custom. Im lo b'shad hatzchak, unless you're under a shad hatzchak, right? A very a challenging situation. Examples: l'tzorchei chola o zakein atzarich chozeh. Right? For example, a ill person or a elderly person who need it. Right? So the Rama would say, listen, the Chatchila, we're going to follow Rashi. Rashi, based on the two Gemara, said one Gemara meant midoraita, it's not a problem. Right? But midorabanan, it's still chametz doksha. And therefore, the minhag, right, he's not paskening, right, because then it would be a lot harder. He's saying the minhag is to be noheg like Rashi and actually not do the flour with the water, with the made pirot. But if it's shad hatzchak, for example, you need it for a chola or a zakein, then it is permissible to have your matzah of egg matzah ashira. So now, what about children? Right, so the Rama gave two examples. So one example was a chola, one example was a zakein, someone who's elderly. So those who had the Rama, he didn't write children here, but in general, he would include children. And they bring a proof from another halacha having nothing to do with Pesach, but having to do with Hilchot Shabbat. So you have a situation where an inner Yehudi shehidlik ader b'shvil Yisrael asur lakol. If a non-Jew put on a light, made a fire specifically with intent for the Jew, it's prohibited, right? Afilu mishelo hudlak b'shvilo. Even if he was, lighting it for you, Barry, but I just want to get benefit, you can't, right? Aval imi likul et sarkov, o et sarechol Yisrael, afilu im bo sakana. But if he lit it for his own purpose, or he needed it for someone who's a chola, now the Rama here adds, o letzor kitanim, dehu kechola she'im bo sakana, or if it was done for the purpose of children, and children, seems like he's giving a cloud. Children are in the category of chola she'im bo sakana, then it would be mutter for all Jews to use. So the fact that the Rama here throws in the lump of people of a chola and a zaken, he throws in also a child. So presumably, I don't know why he left it out, but presumably even the Rama by us who's saying, listen, really we're following the position of Rashi, don't eat egg matzah. But if it's shad hatzchak, like a zaken, an elderly person, or like a ill person, also presumably, according to Ravadia Yosef, in this category, even according to the Rama, would be ketanim as well, also children. How you define exactly what age of that children? Too many people feel that below the age of chinuch, right? 7, 8 years old, depending on the child, then it would also be permitted for them to have your egg matzah as well. Now, just to show you before we go to the next point over here, there were. Let me. I'm gonna put this O'Brien, add in the following tangent. So, based on what we said until now, let's move to a case of Erev Pesach that falls on Shabbat, meaning your Seder is going to be on Motzei Shabbat. Okay? Now, in general, you have a little bit of a problem. Because on the one hand, Shabbat, you're supposed to have 3 meals, right? Friday night, Shabbat lunch, and your Sudash Lishit, right? During Mincha time. What's the problem with having a Sudash Lishit on Erev Pesach?
You can't eat before a certain time. Exactly,
right? The Mishnah already says that you shouldn't eat Erev Pesach. So how do you fulfill your mitzvah of Sudash Lishit? On the other hand, not eat Erev Pesach. Now, you could say, listen, you do it earlier, the timing, that takes into the equation as well, right? The closer you are to the Seder, the worse it is, because after all, you need to come to the Seder with an appetite. And also, you have the famous image that someone who eats matzah on Erev Pesach, doesn't look very good. So how do you put the two together? So can matzah ashira, can egg matzah be used on Erev Pesach as your Sudash Lishit? What would you think?
Depends who you hold like.
Exactly. That would be a nafkamina between this machloket. right? So if you have like Tosfot, what would you say?
Tosfot would say, yes, you can.
And if you have like Rashi, right, it wouldn't be. So let's jump now to, hold on, did that come through? I'm going to share, hold on. Oh, did I lose you? Oh, here we go. So here we are. We are now in Erev Pesach and Shabbat. So the Shulchan Aruch says, right, Yud Dalet Shechali Opa Shabbat. So first he talks about Bedika. Fine, you do it Thursday night. Umishayni Mazim Shnei Sudot L'Torach HaShabbat. The Sudat Shlishit Zmana Achar Mincha Vaz Ini Cholash Sota Lo B'Matzah V'Lo B'Chametz. Right, because you can't eat Chametz because it's already after the 10th hour. Right, you can't eat Matzah because it's Erev Pesach, and you can't eat Matzah Erev Pesach. So what do you do according to Tosfot? Beautiful solution. Ela b'Matzah Ashira. Have Matzah Ashira. And of course, v'tarich lasota kodem sha asirit. You also want to do it earlier, but have your matzah ashira, right? The v'tarich lasota kodem sha asirit is to have it earlier in the day, so you're not considered to be eating on Erev Pesach. So matzah ashira is a good solution according to Shulchan Aruch, because he feels like Tosfot, he feels like the Rambam, the matzah ashira, right, is no problem at all. It's not considered to be chametz. It's 100% okay. Comes along the Rambam, but wait. Our custom is not to eat matzah ashira at all. Yikayim sudash yeshiva mine pirot basar and dagim, and therefore the Rambam says that only you should have sudash yeshiva with fruits and with meat and fish, but not to have with matzah ashira. Now with egg matzah, because the custom is not to have the egg matzah on Pesach, and that again would start earlier. The Aruch HaShulchan had an interesting take on this Rama. Of course, he quotes Rama, Katinu Rabbeinu Rama, Ad Kam L'Shono, V'nireh, She'ina Kavana D'gam Be'erev Pesach Ein Lachol Matzah Ashira L'fi HaMinhag. He says, listen, he's not telling you, the Rama, that you have to extend the minhag of following Shita Rashi to before Pesach. That's not what he's saying. Because there'd be no reason for that. Ela kavana, he says there's a technical problem. Because in general, in the Ashkenazi communities, you're not eating matzah shira. Well, guess what? There's supply and demand. If there's no demand, there's going to be no supply. And matzah bakers are not going to be making matzah shira, are not going to be making egg matzah in Ashkenazi communities. Because in Ashkenazi communities, you don't eat matzah. And therefore, therefore he says, he's just saying that's in general, people are accustomed to, because indeed, there's no matzah to be found, and therefore have meat, and therefore have fish and eggs and things like that. The Bir Hagra and the Aruch HaShulchan, another place, come out very strong in the Minhag Ashkenaz, right? The Hagra says, that's me. He did take upon himself, again, this chumrah, because we paskin, push comes to shove in the corner, Tosfot is right, that made peyrot is okay. Nevertheless, you want to be worried about the position of Rashi. Okay, so the Vilna had it as well. And the Aruch HaShulchan, again, a strong language. He says, we are mizazel, the minhag not to have egg matzah. He goes and sees even healthy people. He said, not only are they going to, in the future, they're going to have to pay for their actions. Of course, someone who's cautious should stay away from the egg matzah, if not for an elderly person or sick person or a child like we saw, or if someone has problems with their teeth. And beautiful thing. Says the Aruch HaShulchan, you want to get to Gan Eden? So easy way to do it. Just don't eat egg matzah. He's very upset that people were mizazel, the minhag, and Ashkenazim who are healthy were doing it. And therefore, he has to be careful about it. Now, what happens when you put Ashkenazim and Sephardim together? There's clearly a majority of the Sephardi poskim are on the side of the Shulchan Aruch that egg matzah is 100% okay. The Ashkenazi custom, again, regular rule, except for Shad HaTachak, is that it is problematic based on the position of Rashi, that he might have an Issur D'Rabbanan of Chametz Nuksha. So let's say a Sephardi person invites you to his meal. Can a Sephardi individual give an Ashkenazi or sell an Ashkenazi matzah? What do you think?
Nowadays, for sure.
Nowadays, today, halacha l'maisa.
For sure.
You think it's okay?
100%.
Okay. Anyone else? What do you think, Larry?
I don't know.
Uh-huh. So Rabbi Yosef wrote a tshuva about this and actually said no. Said that Sephardim have to look out for Ashkenazim and Sephardim have to not make sure that they are the ones who help Ashkenazim break their minhag. And Sephardim would not be allowed to sell a egg matzah to a Ashkenazi. Basically, it's a little bit off of this halacha in the Ramah. It says as follows. He said, the Shulchan Aruch, I'm sorry. If someone, has a chumrah, they want to paskin that something is prohibited. Either because that's how really they feel the halacha, or mikoach chumrah, or the chumrah he takes upon himself. I can have meals with other people who say this food is okay. Why? Why is that okay? Because for sure, right? The person knows I'm Chav Yisrael, I don't need Chadash, whatever it might be, and he's not going to give me something that's prohibited, which puts a burden of responsibility that you know who are your guests and who's coming. And if you're a Sephardi hosting an Ashkenazi, you should not be giving them egg matzah to eat. At the same time, Rabbi Yosef also ruled that if I see an Ashkenazi buying egg matzah, right? Let's say I saw someone in the store, do I have to go over and say that, listen, I just came out of this whole shiur, and really egg matzah, according to the opinion of Rashi, is not good because he answers the contradiction in the Gemara saying that midrash it's still a problem. Do I have to go over and give a person a whole lecture about it? So he also says, no, that if you only see someone purchasing the egg matzah, you're allowed to say that indeed, he did it to give to a cholat, or he did it to give to a child who needs it, and you don't actually have to go over and give that person the Matzah because indeed, even within the Ramah, there are exceptions to the rule, and you can assume that the person given the benefit of...
No one is actually holding like Rashi in the end, though. Even the Ramah is not holding like Rashi. He's holding like Tosfot, and he's saying everyone seemingly nobody holds like Rashi at all. But if you just put juice and flour together, you're going to get chametz. Just the Ramah is chashash for water too. Tosfot, the same way Tosfot says, if you put water with that, you're going to get chametz. Or Ramah is just chashash. How do you know that water is not going to get in there? No one's actually holding like Rashi.
Either you could say that, right, which I agree with, or you can also say no, because we do have an opinion like Rashi that says it is chametz nuksha, right? Even if
the Rama uses the words, he says why in Nogans, or that was the Aruch HaShulchan, I think it was the one who adds. He says that why? Because chashash sheitavif bomai. Right.
So does that mean it's only a problem if it gets to that point and you have to agree? Or does it mean the reason why Rashi made an Issur D'Rabbanan called chametz nuksha, even if it doesn't get to, right? Even if it doesn't get to, because at the end of the day, egg matzah, I can say 100%. We've guarded it, it didn't become chametz, right? So according to Rashi, am I allowed to eat that? So it's not only a concern. It's based on the concern that it could easily become chametz, but it's not only based on that. Even if I know 100% it didn't become chametz, according to Rashi, it's a
but not according to the Ramah, though. If you knew 100%, for example, in nowadays factories, that it had no water coming into it, even the Ramah would say you can go and eat matzah ashir.
I'm not sure because it only says that in the case of a cholah, zaken, or a child.
Well, before when he if you can pull up the PowerPoint, when he said, like right in Ashkenaz, with the Ashkenazim we don't do it.
Right.
And then there was an addition in the explanation. I forgot. I don't think it was Biogra. It was maybe the Aruch HaShulchan, or maybe it was the Ramah on the Shulchan Aruch, who says why? Because I don't think it's Ramban the Shulchan. I think it was I forgot the exact person. He says why? Because chashash l'mayim. Meaning what? If it wasn't for that chashash l'mayim,
the reason why the Shulchan Aruch, correct. In other words, the reason why the Aruch HaShulchan said, the Ramah is saying you're allowed to have on Erev Pesach, which is Shabbat, is because of the chashash, so we don't have that, right?
Yes. So if that wasn't there, which it isn't really anymore, then even the Ramah would say, go ahead and eat matzah shir.
It's interesting. So on the one hand, the Aruch HaShulchan says that by Erev Shabbat. On the other hand, the Aruch HaShulchan, right, was very harsh against those who eat egg matzah, right? Like didn't follow the minhag of the Ramah. So, you're right in the sense that each one are balancing two possibilities. Either that it might become chametz, you got to be careful, or this possibility, which we see the other day, the Ramah Paskind, and the Aruch HaShulchan took a strong stance on. But again, it is a chumrah because push comes to shove. If it's for a cholah or for a zaken, then you'll be allowed to be lenient according to the I just wanted to end with the following really interesting take on matzah. I'm gonna pull it up from you, and it comes from the Shoah. Let me share this with you. Oops. And I was, one second. And I was thinking it could offer also some food for thought in the days in which we find ourselves now. And it's written by Rav Aaron Yisachar David, who was the chief rabbi in Bergen-Belsen. Before the Shoah started, he was the chief rabbi in Holland. And in 1943, although there are many who wanted him to leave and escape Europe, he decided to stay with his community and then was brought to Bergen-Belsen. And then Bergen-Belsen, he served as the chief rabbi of the concentration. And of course, as Pesach is coming around, obviously you can already sense the trepidation that people realize, we're going to have to eat chametz on Pesach. That we're in obviously sakana nefashot shada l'chak, the worst of worst situations. We're living in a hell. If we say we're not going to eat chametz all of Pesach, indeed, you know what? We're not going to survive this. We're going to unfortunately die. And you're trying to think, what could I do to lift the spirits and the morale of those who are in the concentration camp with me, knowing that they're going to eat chametz, knowing that they're going to do something they never, ever imagined that they would have to do. So we decided, you know what, I'm going to write a short tefillah. And I'm going to tell everybody, before you eat chametz on Pesach, recite the following tefillah, which I found to be very, very, very powerful. He writes, before you eat the chametz, say with the full intent. Avinu shebashamayim, hinei galui v'yadua lefacha. Of course, God, you know. Shirtzonenu la'asok b'tzoncha v'lachog et chag Pesach v'achilat matzah. Obviously, we want to fulfill your will. Obviously, we want to eat matzah and Pesach and fulfill the mitzvah. Uv'shmirat isur chametz, and to stay away from eating chametz. But of course, the terrible situation, our hearts are melting that we're in our own shibud, not shibud mitzrayim, but shibud of the Shoah. And we're in a situation of sakana nefashot. Nevertheless, here we're ready and willing and enthusiastically fulfilling your mitzvah v'chai bahem, to live. And to not violate the prohibition of be careful, and you have to fulfill and the shmor nefesh to make sure that one is healthy. And therefore we daven that our Gula should come, and we should be able to once again fulfill Pesach and Matzah with all of the different laws that we are accustomed to. And, in these times, obviously, we're in challenging times. And Pesach this year is probably different than all other years. We don't necessarily have the guests we want to have. We don't have all the products we need. And on the other hand, the chizuk that is being offered from this tefillah from Bergen-Belsen, as right now the mitzvah in hand is pikuach nefesh. And to be enthusiastic and take pride in that, and to find the morale and to find the enthusiasm to go to Pesach b'lev shalem. So Shakot to everybody. Thank you very much for joining.
Could you send a link to the PowerPoint on the chat so we can have it?
I would first have to upload it somewhere.
Okay.
Hold on, but I could do that. Or why don't you know what? Just put your email address in the chat and I'll email it to you.
That is good. Yes, sure. Thank you.
Okay. Yofi, for those who are going to join tomorrow we're going to go on the other side, the Gebrux controversy. So now that, we talked about made payroll before, now can you take matzah after it's full matzah and now add it to the honey and everything else? Yofi. All right. Have a wonderful day. No problem, Gideon. I'll be happy to send this to you.
Thank you.